Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Bishop Darrell Watkins, and let's queer up trans rights. Trans ranger fired after pride flag protest at Yosemite. A transgender park ranger says they were fired for flying a massive trans pride flag from one of America's most iconic natural landmarks. Shannon Joslin, a biologist and permanent ranger at Yosemite National Park, shared on Instagram that they lost their job for practicing their First Amendment right. Joslin explained that while off duty as a private citizen, they hung a 55 by 35 foot transgender pride flag on El Capitan. They said the flag was up for just 2 hours before being taken down. Joslin wrote, quote, "El Capitan has had flags hung on it for decades, and no one has ever been punished for it. Only me," end quote. They said they were terminated by a deputy superintendent for failing to demonstrate acceptable conduct. Joslin, who has served as a wildland firefighter, rescue technician, and first responder, said they've never received negative comments about their conduct before this incident. Joslin's post read, quote, "Preservation has been my life's work of Yosemite, the wildlife, the land, recreation, of people's rights and safety, of community and acceptance, and now the constitutional First Amendment. I want my rights and I want my career back," end quote. Environmental activist and drag queen Pattie Gonia, who co-organized the flag action, called the firing a direct violation of First Amendment rights and linked it to broader efforts under the Trump administration to erase trans voices from the National Park Service. The Resistance Rangers, who also took part, wrote that the banner was a reminder that queer people belong everywhere. Advocates say that the case raises urgent questions about free speech, visibility, and whether public lands truly remain open for all communities.
Of course not.
There is an ongoing orchestrated attack on transgender and non-binary people, on queer people, queer people writ large, but even most particularly on trans people. This is, they're right. The flags are hung all the time, and if you don't, take it down. But that this got that sort of reaction, now maybe because they're an employee, that muddies the waters a little bit. But even then, discipline is usually progressive. It's this and then this and then this, not just, oh, you didn't know, too bad, now you're out. But also, this is an affirmation of people. And so it's a bad look, no matter what rule they might have found. It's a bad look to say, oh, you're trying to celebrate a community, out you go. Right. But this is because they have consistently dehumanized and demoralized and demonized trans people. And so where even a flag representing your people is considered obscene or gross or threatening, or no. If you don't want it up there, take it down, say, don't do it again. You don't end a person's career because they were proud of their community.
But they have permission to do so now because Mr. Orange is in the office now. So that's why they feel like they can do this, because they're saying, okay, well, this state did this recently and this doing, so they feel like they're in this environment now where they can just be themselves, which is hateful.
Well, they make it up as they go along, and then they have the Department of Justice, and they'll do whatever the the
because
president
Pam Bondi
tells
is
them to do.
no friend of justice.
No, she is not.
No.
And she's certainly no friend of the queer community.
No, and this has a similarity to the crosswalks.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly, yeah.
Right?
They're coming and eliminating them.
And the administration is just pushing and jabbing and seeing how far they can go, one piece at a time, right?
But we're the snowflakes, but they're upset about a flag. And
I know,
right.
That's ridiculous.
Right.
If you're afraid of a rainbow or a flag, you've got bigger problems.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yes.
But you can fight to put 10 commandments in places. Which oh my God, because it is in your face religious. Oh no, these are universal principles. The first 4 commandments are about the Hebrew God. That is not universal. If you're Buddhist, observe the Jewish Sabbath is not a universal thing for you.
No, of course not.
Only 6 of the 10 even have anything to do with universal rules of conduct. And you're not going to not commit murder because it was on a plaque in a classroom. Either you're a decent person or you're not, right? So they can have that. They can promote their religious tradition. But if you have rainbow sidewalk or a trans flag or whatever, that is
kid that brings a rainbow lunchbox to school.
Or,
oh my gosh, this.
Or a teacher that says, gives any sort of sympathy to a gay kid being bullied or any of that. what they're telling us, and what they're telling our kids is what they're telling, is that you are not okay. That your very existence is somehow obscene, and to even talk about it is offensive to good people.
Yep.
We can't be silent about that. And so I'm not trans. I don't know trans. Blah blah. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Because if they'll
People
do it
are
to that,
people.
exactly. First of all,
Human
that's a
beings are
person.
human beings.
And second of all, and it shouldn't even come to this, but if they'll do it to that person, they'll do it to this person.
That's when they'll care.
Yeah,
That's when it happens.
and that's when it's too late. But it shouldn't even come to that. These are people. They've been mistreated. We need to say something. We've let it go too often. Now we're all scared to say something. Well, not
And
all of us, obviously.
it's literally a human rights issue.
Exactly.
You know?
Because we talk about states' rights, but humans don't have rights. We talk about corporations are people,
state
but real people aren't protected.
It depends.
That's not okay.
It depends follows everything these days.
Yeah.
Well, it depends.
Right.
Are you Republican? Then, okay, we'll listen to your eye. If you're Democrat, forget it. We're going to do everything we can to oppose you, regardless of the fact that the idea that you just put on the table was one of the best ideas ever. But
It wasn't our idea.
it wasn't our idea,
Right.
so we're not doing it.
And even if your ideas are absolutely just nuts, still, you deserve to exist. You deserve to have a relationship. You deserve to have health care. You deserve to. And
These are
trans
basic
people have the just nightmare stories about health care.
Right.
They're just humiliating and dangerous and scary. Well, yeah. If you won't stand up for someone to be able to wave their flag, you're probably not going to intervene when they're trying to get emergency care.
Yeah.
So this is about people,
And
and until we
hopefully-
see people as people, we're in trouble.
Right. And hopefully these things, hopefully people are paying attention,
I
because
hope.
this is the kind of thing that needs to light the fire under folks so that they have the epiphany that, you know what, I can't just sit on my ass anymore.
There has to be, even if he or she is transphobic, there has to be a lawyer somewhere that says, well, I don't understand or even like trans people, but this is wrong.
Right.
And I'm going to defend the law and the Constitution and rights. I'll deal with my transphobia later. Surely there's such a person.
Right.
Well,
Well,
they're
hopefully.
transphobic, then no.
Well, you know,
Unfortunately.
it'll be a battle against the federal government. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So,
The
yeah.
the day when trans people are celebrated as they deserve to be will be a magical day. I mean, my trans friends and what they have to go through, which is such a heavier burden
Oh, yeah.
than me, already
Absolutely.
feeling oppressed. I just think trans people are magical.
There's-
There's a lot our society could learn from them. And yeah.
You won't find a braver community
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
or more resilient.
Yes. Totally.
And that is another big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing to and sharing Queer News Tonight.